What's going on, guys? It's Chat here. Gonna do a bit of a different video today. Just want to show you kind of the way I do sketch planning. Got to work here with OneHive 2.0, and I'm on basically Town Hall 10 cleanup duty, going for triple attempts on bases that have been 2-starred. So I know a bit of information about the base. I know how kind of people have attacked it and failed it. Um, but this is kind of how I would typically go at a sketch. I've got a troop composition that I'm quite comfortable with. Ideally, I like picking bases that I can get both Infernos easily, and then I use a combination, pretty much equal parts of bowlers, Valks, and miners in the CC. So that's what I'm going to go for planning with this, and it's kind of just about picking out weaknesses amongst the bases. So kind of just jumping right in here. This is the app that I like to do my sketching on. It's a really great app. It allows a lot of customizability, and it's also just a really clean interface. So anyways, so the big weakness that I see here is that I need to get to both of those Infernos with the least amount of spells as possible. I don't really want to use 2 jumps. I only need 1 here, but it doesn't open the rest of the base, and I want to just get as much value as possible. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to open up that pretty much whole compartment with 4 Quakes. And so what I am kind of seeing here is obviously you've got your, how do I best indicate this? You've got 1 tile, 2 tiles, 3 tiles, 4 tiles, 5 tiles, 6 tiles, 7 tiles, 8 tiles. So 8 tile spread. A 4 Quake on that position approximately is going to get that entire section opened up. So that is a weakness for number 1, is that I can get both Infernos and open up pretty much the entire core with 2 spells. The next thing I'm going to do is how do I basically enter that space with getting quite a bit of value out of a queen walk is typically a way that I like to start these. So what I'm going to do is I like to start on army camps. So I'm going to start the queen here. Quick notes, and then I like to indicate which buildings she's responsible for taking out. I do know there's a Tesla there, so I'm going to write that in. And then she's going to work her way this way. Eventually, she's served her purpose. Got a lot of that just done so that all the troops can focus on crashing the core. Just at my left side funnel, I'm going to do a baby drag. And then it's basically ready for my heroes. Sorry, my heroes. My king is going to be left, and he's going to meet up with the queen. The queen is also coming over there, so I'm going to do Barbarian King. I'm going to do 10 Valks, 10 Bowlers, and then I'm probably actually going to do Giants maybe on this one. So I'm actually going to start with the Giants. And how many I'm going to take? I'm going to take 7 Giants in the CC. Giants just got a boost to level 8, so might as well get good value of that as long as you're taking max troops when you can. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know that there are double giant bombs there, and I believe there as well. And so typically what I'd do is I would take miners in the CC, and then they'd sweep across this kind of whole left side, but they're going to get eaten by those double giant bombs. So there's really no point in even sending those. I'm going to have to clean that up with my main troops. So anyways, we're going to break in right there, and then all the troops are essentially just going to crash the core as best as possible. I'm hoping that, I don't know if they're going to get attracted to that spell factory, but we're just going to have to deal with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to rage once we're entering the core, and then we're going to rage through the core. I also realized that I'm not going to be able to freeze both those Infernos safely at the same time, so I'm going to try to freeze there, get as much value as I can. There's a potential that I maybe should be taking out one of the Air D as well with that freeze. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to do that, because the queen, I'm not likely going to be able to reach it. I'm going to play this one a little bit dynamic as I'm doing the raid. I'm going to say that I'm going to do the freeze there and hopefully get the queen as well, but she could be wandering a little bit out of reach, and in that case I'll take the Air D as well so that it's no damage to the healers that are potentially going to go in range. So all should be safe. You know what? No, I might actually not do that. I think that Valks are going to have no problem ripping through that. what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the back side. So I'm going to do freeze there and catch that expo, and then I'm also going to heal my Valks and everything. So what that's going to do is that's going to freeze that Inferno so that the heal actually does something to the Valks as they're going over those double giant bombs, because we're going to need to keep them alive during that process, and that's the best way to do it. So those are our spells. We've got 2 rage, a freeze, a heal, and then the 4 quakes are going to take up my last full space spot or spell spot, plus the 2 dark spells that I typically take. So those are all the spells, and that's how I would approach this base. Pretty straightforward. It's basically just about being smart with your spells, trying to rip through those infernos as quick as possible, and then hope that the healers don't do something stupid and lock onto a giant hitting a wall or something. So that is sketch number 1. Plan number 2. Now, and I forgot to mention, the last base had a lava hound in the CC, so there's a little bit less worry. It will pop at some point. I don't have any poisons, so that does pose a problem if the queen isn't in range of that. But with all ground-focused troops, I may even send in the Valks and everything sooner than later, so that the queen actually stays back and hopefully doesn't even catch up to the hound until later in the raid. So it could go terribly wrong. Who knows? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to look for a very similar weakness. So there's a few things to consider here. There's a baby dragon in the CC, and that's going to just rip apart my troops if I don't manage that properly. So if I can do a queen walk and deal with the CC on this one, it would be ideal. Now, same thing I'm looking for. If I can zoom in here, we're going to look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can open up that entire compartment. Actually, I'm going to open up this compartment as well if I do that quake sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and try the same strategy there. So I'm going to put it a little bit off to the side, get approximately that. That's an 8-tile spread. 4 quakes there, and that's going to open up a lot of the base. And that's actually going to open up both of these compartments as well. So that's important. Next thing to do is how do I manage that CC before my main troops go in? Now, there's a couple different ways to think about this one. We can basically choose to either do a queen walk from over here or over here. Quickly looking at this base, I'm wanting to enter closer to that inferno with my main troops. No, you know what? I'm going to enter from the right side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my queen walk over here. And that's going to allow me to take out that, there. Am I going to take out that whiz tower? It's right on the edge. Let's assume and hope that it does. That would be a lot better value. And then on this side over here, I know there's a Tesla right there, but it shouldn't matter because I want to just basically set my baby drag funnel right there. And then these are going to be my anchor buildings to get the king and everything into that core. So we'll do my usual troop composition. I've been practicing this one for several weeks now, so it's just what I'm comfortable with. Use whatever you're comfortable with, but also listen to the base. Don't throw your normal farm composition at a base that you don't think would work. I just really think that it will work for these bases, and that's why I'm using it. Okay, so they are going to enter in right there. And then they're going to rage right there. They're going to path down. I'm probably going to lose some Valks. Are going to want to go right there. But I'm going to try to just make sure that most of my troops are raged through the path that I want them to take, which is eventually getting to the Inferno. If I see a bunch of Valks going for that Expo, what I'll do is I'll just shift that over there so they can grind the wall. And honestly, that's probably not the worst idea anyways. It really depends on what the troops are going to do. I'm going to put it in the middle there, and then I can kind of just know that it's somewhere in there, wherever the majority of the groups are going. Next thing, I usually take a freeze, and where can I get the most value for this one? I'm thinking I'm going to get the most value on the first one. I'm probably just going to go ahead and do something like that. Or maybe I'll do the same as the second attack, or the first attack. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do a heal. Because I'm sure that there's probably some stuff that's going to be going on in that core. And the heal will also keep stuff alive while that Wiz Tower is beating on it. So there's my 5+2 spells again. Exact same as what I've done before. You'll notice no jumps, obviously, because I'm going to do all my jump compartments with the quakes instead. But it leaves me lots of spells to do my other stuff when I don't have to take jumps. Because typically you're going to take 2 jumps in a raid like this. So, I forgot to list out what this arrow is over here. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. AQ. Okay, so I think that will go well. I don't think my queen will venture south. If she does, obviously be prepared for that and make changes to your plan. But I think she'll go north. I think they'll funnel through nicely. And yeah, that core is going to be pretty much decimated. Now, the one change with this attack, obviously, is the fact that we do have the ability to have some miners that are going to help sweep around. So, what I'm going to do is part of this troop composition is also going to be some CC miners. The way I like to use these is once my king and Valks and bowlers all go into this one section, I want the rest of this whole section to be taken care of by miners, and that typically works. It really decreases the amount of compartments that these Valks have to get into. Just let them focus on the core, let the Queen Walk handle the rest, and then you basically just have 2 sides that you have to clean up at the end of the raid. And typically you've got enough time and energy to do that. So that is how I'm going to make this plan. Maybe if these go tremendously well, I'll do a follow-up video and then merge these videos so you can see the results. If not, you're never going to see the results because I failed. So anyways, that's all for tonight, guys. Hope this is valuable. I'm just showing you how I sketch. Great sketch standards. If you need to explain your attacks and what you're thinking, go ahead. Paper by 53 has this great text section, so we can do a queen walk. What is this? I guess it's Valk bowler. I don't even know what this is going to be called. Vagina? No giants. Anyways, who knows what it's going to be called, but you can write notes and tell them what you're taking in. Great app. Great way to illustrate your attacks. Get your sketches better, guys. It's a great way to compete at the elite level. So until next time, guys, I hope this is valuable. Talk to you soon.